Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and I am here with the lovely Amber A.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Such a pleasure to have you.
Good to be here.
Amber, you are the epitome of a fashion model.
Thank you.
When did you decide that you wanted to be a model?
Okay, so I've been into modeling since um I was a little girl. I grew up watching America's Next Top Model.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my thing. That kind of made me realize that, I had a passion for it.
Yeah.
So about 6 years ago, I moved here and I decided, well, let's try it and see what happens. I joined a Facebook group with women that were entrepreneurs,
Uh-huh.
and I ran into a lady named Lisa Marie,
Uh-huh.
and she put me on because she was a designer, and she's like, "You are a good fit. Let's try it." I started working with her, and it kind of took off from there.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I ask where you moved from?
I moved from Colorado.
Okay, Colorado.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
There's nothing going on out there. I had to make a move.
So, how are you adjusting to this Arizona heat?
It was fine.
It was fine.
You get tired of cleaning off the snow off your car with two small kids. So I'm like, let's change this up. The weather's been good to us. No complaints.
Good.
Yeah.
I went to Colorado some years ago to do some training, and that was my first time being in snow.
Okay.
But it wasn't snowing when I first got there. So the next morning I walked out and it's like snow, and I'm like stuck. I'm like, what do I do?
Bipolar Colorado. You have this nice weather and then you walk out and it's a whole blizzard.
So America's Next Top Model was one of your favorite shows. So I was going to ask you, is there a celebrity model that inspired you?
Yes, of course, Tyra Banks,
Mhm.
because she opened up a whole platform for us.
Yes. She did a lot with that show.
She did a lot of diversity, a lot of. She kind of broke down some barriers.
Yeah, Size is also having a plus size model on her show. Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Takara? Was it Takara Jones? Was the first plus size model on her show?
She was.
Yes, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Being a model, have you figured out where you fit in yet?
It's a work in progress, but for the most part, I'm more artsy. I like the creativity. I like a storyline. I don't, I'll do fashion, high fashion. It's always fun playing dress up.
Sure.
But for the most part, I want something that is thought provoking.
Right. So, right. And you know what? No matter where you are in your stage of modeling, there's always someone, a young girl, watching you
always
to see what you're doing.
Always.
So I know a lot of people will say, I'm not no role model, but we are.
We are.
What is your thoughts on that?
I have two small children. They're boys, 7 and 10. I know that social media is what they're growing up in. So we have to be careful about what we put out there.
Yeah.
And whether you want to be a role model or not, someone's watching you.
Someone's watching you.
Also have a 10-year-old niece.
Mm-hmm.
She's watching me, and she watches me very close.
Right. And admiring what you're doing.
She does.
Yes.
And whatever example I'm setting, I know she's watching, so I have to be aware of it. I have to be careful.
I remember the first time one of my daughter's friends said, "Your mom's cool." I'm like, "Your friend said I was cool."
Yeah.
Don't you think I'm cool too?
Right. It's usually not our kids.
It's not our kids that think we're cool.
Think we're cool.
Amber, modeling can be such an exciting and a giving career. What is it that you like most about it and keeps you wanting to continue to model?
Well, going back to my childhood, dressing up, makeup, just glamour, being able to embody something else or someone else.
Yeah.
Just for a moment, I can be whoever I want to be for just that moment, and then let it go.
That's true. You're just a girly girl, huh?
I am. I like it. Yeah. I got a lot of boys, so that's the only time I really can dress up and
Yes.
makeup, glamour.
Being a model, I know most people will say, I'm not a role model.
Mhm.
Okay, but someone's always watching you. What do you say to that?
Um, for me personally, I have a niece. I know that she's watching. So my audience, a lot of the girls are young. I look young, so of course they're gonna take to me because they
Mm-hmm.
feel like we're the same.
You're right.
So I have to be careful with everything that I do. I have to make sure everything is tactful, and I consider them with every project that I take on.
Right.
It's
Right.
important.
And you know what? And I totally understand that. I was my daughter, one of her friends said, "Oh, your mom's cool." And I said, "Oh, your mom's cool." And my
Yes,
daughter just rolled her eyes at me
it's
because,
always the other kids
they
that
don't
think
think
we're
we're
cool,
cool.
not our
But
own.
that showed me that someone else's child was watching me.
Yeah.
So I could say I'm not a role model, but you know what? I am because I really pay attention to who's watching what I put out there.
Yeah.
My mom, my uncles, my
Mm-hmm.
nieces, family members, young
Right.
people. So we may not want to be a role model, but we are to someone.
Well, anytime you take on a public platform, you're putting yourself in the way of being watched. So you should
Right.
expect it.
Right.
So, I mean, for anyone to say that, I kind of feel like it's a lack of maturity.
Sure.
If you're going to be in the industry,
And
someone's watching you.
selfishness
It is
that you don't care about someone else's child
true.
or a child that may not have someone to look up to,
Right.
but they're looking up to you.
Right. No, I agree.
What types of modeling have you done so far in your career?
So I do photo shoots, usually high fashion. Um, I've done some runway work as well. Um, I pretty standard.
Okay.
Pretty standard.
So you brought some photos of yourself
did.
modeling for us to see today.
I did.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
take a look. And what's happening here?
Yeah, so this one was actually for a hair magazine. I let them cut my hair, part of modeling.
Yes.
You got to be willing to do a lot of sacrificing. It turned out good. It was fun. It was also published here in Arizona.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next. Oh, that's
This one was really fun. It was adventurous.
beautiful.
I actually had to hike up some mountains to
Oh,
get to this place. But the lady that I was working for at this time, she wanted to do a series of like Black African American, what's the word, fantasy
Mhm.
themed. So that was a really fun shoot.
so how did they keep the material? Did they have a fan blowing or
No,
was it windy out
it was
that day?
me.
Oh,
It
it was
was
you.
me.
Oh,
Yep, every time it was time to take a
you had
picture,
to
I'm
throw it up.
and take it.
I
So I
look,
had to
I've done
watch
that
my
one
face.
before.
Yeah, they're like, pay attention to your face, and I was like, oh, I forgot I had that.
And that is a key point with
Yeah.
being a model. It's not just one thing. You have to be in control of your entire body at the same time.
Every part of your body, even your toes, your
Yes, yes. And that is one thing when
Hands.
people think modeling is easy, they don't realize the eyes, the mouth,
The work.
everything.
feet. It's work
Yes,
because you're not just modeling for yourself. You're providing a service,
yes.
like with anything. Yeah.
Next.
This was a Valentine's Day runway show that I was in. I just really liked the picture that the photographer captured, so
I love the white.
I do too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Next.
This was for New Year's. We actually had an outdoor fashion show.
Okay.
And so before the show, we did some photos, and this was actually one of the candid moments.
Okay.
So I wasn't even actually
You
posing.
weren't even
No,
in character on the runway. Well, you were in character, but you weren't even
Right.
working yet.
no.
Love it.
Thank you. Like a Gatsby thing.
Okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, so, I haven't always been the most confident person. So this was actually my 30th birthday. And I just wanted to do something that was more tasteful but sexy.
Yeah, it was like your coming out party.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yes, this is a good one too. This was my very first photo shoot. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just did what was natural to me.
Yeah.
And, it worked out, and
That
this one
is
put me on the map.
cute.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, see, I can see why the young girls would follow you because you look so young right there in that photo.
I was young.
You
I
know?
was. Yeah. But yeah,
Next.
it was good.
Okay, well, those were lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
One thing that we have as a model that you have to realize is that you're just a blank canvas for them. So what you say don't really matter, and that's hard for some people to accept. What do you how do you accept that when your opinion doesn't matter?
I actually haven't accepted that. I feel like the show stops if the model doesn't provide the service.
Mm-hmm.
So designers, they need us just
Mm-hmm.
as much as we need them. So I have not accepted that
Mhm.
my voice doesn't matter or I don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, designers, they're looking for a certain type of body type, of complexion, whatever they're looking
Uh-huh.
for. Once they find that, they're looking to us to provide their vision.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't accepted that.
Oh,
I'm not going
okay now.
So,
Okay.
but
So,
yeah.
what advice would you offer an aspiring female model?
Not to give up. Um, Find your niche and stick with it. Don't be influenced by the majority and the masses, because that may not be a good fit for you,
Right.
and that may not get you to where you want to be by doing what other people are doing. So
Right.
just stick to what you know and find comfort in that. So yeah.
What advice would you give to that little girl that's watching you?
The little girl that's watching me, just don't forget yourself. Don't get so caught up in the glitz and the glamour and what everyone else is doing where you forget your morale.
Right.
Keep your standards high, because then, great
Well,
things come
that
for
goes
you.
for the older girls too, though.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
It's easy to waver when you don't feel like you're getting to where you want to be, but the next vixen is.
Mm-hmm.
So just stick to it and you'll get there.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, my goal is to be at New York Fashion Week. I want to grace that runway.
Okay.
I
And you
feel
put it
like-
out there, so
Yes, I'm
it's
putting it
going
all
to
out there.
happen.
I
It's
want
going
it.
to happen.
Mhm.
So, where can our audience find you?
On Instagram, it is official_ Vic and Amber. I
Okay.
share that page with my fiance, who's an actor.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, it was such a pleasure having you here today.
It was an honor
And
being
thanks
here.
for sharing all that information for the aspire, because there's so many aspiring models out there.
There
So
are.
thank you for sharing that information.
I appreciate the platform. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on